The Innocence Project estimates about 20,000 people in America are currently incarcerated for crimes they did not commit. Rarely do these people get to prove their innocence, and even more rarely do their cases garner national attention. But this Monday, NBC News Studios will be releasing its first original podcast, Letters from Sing Sing, telling the story of John Adrian J.J. Velasquez, a man formerly imprisoned at New York's notorious Sing Sing Correctional Facility for more than 23 years for a murder he says he did not commit. JJ was convicted of murdering a police officer in 1998 when he was 22 years old. He spent the next 2 decades of his life not only maintaining his innocence, but seeking to prove it. One of the people he reached out to was an investigative producer for NBC News, Dan Slepian, who was also producing stories about wrongful convictions for NBC's Dateline at the time. Their efforts to unravel JJ's conviction, all while navigating America's flawed criminal justice system, will be depicted, throughout all 7 episodes of Letters from Sing Sing, including this heart-wrenching moment 12 years into their relationship, when JJ wrote Dan a letter that said this.
I am not simply innocent. I am clearly innocent. Everyone knows this. I'm writing this letter suffocating in this tiny-ass cage. I want to scream so loud, but it won't make any sense because I'm not being heard. The craziest part of it all is that I may have to die before anyone really cares about what's actually happening. Do I have to jump off a prison tier with a noose around my neck to get people to realize that wrongful convictions are a slow death?
In 2021, at age 46, J.J. Velasquez was released from prison after his sentence was commuted by former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. He has not yet been exonerated of his crimes, but he did have the opportunity to participate in a presidential forum with President Biden to discuss his incarceration, during which he received an apology directly from the president.
On behalf of all society, I apologize for it. 23 years. My God.
Joining me now is NBC News investigative producer Dan Slepian. Dan, it's great to have you with us. He is, of course, the host of Letters from Sing Sing, which will be released this coming Monday. An incredible story, just absolutely incredible. Help us understand how you came to meet JJ 20 years ago.
Thank you so much for having me on, Eamon. It started 20 years ago on Thanksgiving Day in 2002. I was actually at a prison in New York, a maximum security prison, covering a different story of a claim of wrongful conviction. And I walked into the lobby and a woman was standing there with these 2 little boys on each hand. And she said, "My name is Maria Velasquez. My son, John Adrian JJ, he's innocent. Can you help us?" She had heard about the other story I was working on. I obviously was skeptical, and I obviously had no idea what the story was about. But what I remember most about that day was the younger son, it was her grandchild, JJ's son, on her left side. And he was looking up at me with these big eyes, and he looked sad and confused, like, why is this guy here? Why is he looking at me? And the only thing I could think is, whether his father is guilty or innocent, these little guys should not be in prison on Thanksgiving Day. A week later, I got a letter from JJ. And that letter led to dozens and dozens of letters over the next 20 years. And what it did really is it led into a bit of an abyss, punching a hole straight through the box, Pandora's box. And what I saw inside was very troubling and sad. And I was very sad by what I saw. And what I saw was much, much, much bigger than just JJ's case.
Let's talk about that for a moment. You spoke to the New York Times about this and said what started with one wrongful conviction claim became a chain of human dominoes. Expand on that for us.
So when I first met JJ, I didn't know if he was innocent or guilty. And I started investigating. It took me 20 years. It took 20 years. I did a story 10 years ago on Dateline about his case, but then it took another 10 years for him to get out. But through that time, I would visit him often and we would talk. And he would vet cases on the inside. Like, he was a one-man innocence project on the inside of Sing Sing. So he would say, "You really got to go talk to Eric Glisson. I looked at his case, he's innocent." And I'm like, "Another one?" And for each one that he told me about was true. And I did stories on each one of those people, and they got out. JJ was directly responsible for getting 3 other innocent men out of prison. And that he was the last one to get out.
Absolutely incredible. Dan Slepian, I mean, just incredible journalism, incredible reporting, and good on you for being so persistent, staying with it for 20 years. And I'm sure JJ and his family certainly appreciate it. Certainly the young kid that you first saw in that prison certainly appreciates it now.